If you saw a wheelchair rolling down a deserted hospital hallway by itself, what would you think? You might feel like you're in a scary movie. That's probably what the hospital's security staff thought after watching the security footage and seeing some spooky happenings. At the end of the hallway, there's a wheelchair parked next to the wall. But suddenly it starts rolling back on its own, with nobody pushing it or sitting in it. What's up with that? Where's it heading? And who's steering the chair? It seems like the only ones left in this hospital are the ghosts. Spooky, right? This video is made up of 2 clips filmed early in the morning at different hospitals. The person speaking can only confirm that they work at a hospital where strange things often occur. They mention that what you're about to watch was captured by a security camera after 3 a.m., a time when everything is usually quiet, but something unexplainable disrupts the peace of the hospital. Keep your eyes peeled. Even though this video looks pretty convincing, I don't have enough info to confirm if it's real. The person who sent it claims they've seen stuff like this many times, but honestly, it seems a bit too perfect, doesn't it? The part that really gets me is the chair moving on its own. How could someone set that up? Maybe with strings or something? There's another video that's quite similar, filmed overnight at a hospital in Chile. Nurses heard strange noises from a nearby room, which got them worried because they knew nobody was supposed to be there. When they checked the security camera footage, they admitted it was the most shocking thing they'd ever seen. Jonathan Suvo visited his partner in a hospital in Paris and then made a movie about his experience. He shared it with everyone in January 2015. He said there was a woman in the bed next to him who was making scary noises and shouting like a devil. The video shows what happened. In the video, a woman is lying on a bed and speaking in a rough, scary voice. She insults the couple nearby, calling them rude names and saying they'll all die. You can't see her mouth in the video, just her side profile, but you can see her chest moving as she talks. Ashit, one of the people nearby, gets angry and starts yelling back, wanting to leave the hospital. The video stops there, so we don't know if the woman tried to leave. John, who made the video, tells us that he stopped recording before she got up or when hospital staff intervened. He says they had to leave when 5 nurses came to help. After that, John doesn't know what happened. Before this, John wasn't sure about things like demonic possessions, but now he believes he's seen one for real. There's not much explanation given for what we're seeing. It starts with a gurney moving irregularly, going back and forth suddenly, and then it flips over. In the next clip, another hospital bed starts behaving the same way. It moves away when a staff member gets close. The man reacts like most people would, trying to make sure it can't get him. He turns around and goes back the way he came. That was probably the best thing he could have done. This video might seem like a scene from a scary movie, but it's actually said to show the daily life of a patient at a mental facility in Sagan, Siberia. William, who wrote about what really happened there for Edge of Siberia, says the story of Satyam's services is quite disturbing. The place is remote, and the only records of what went on there are documents and stories, some of which inspired a 2012 movie. Now let's take a look at this video. It shows a skinny guy sitting on a hospital bed, moving a bit, wearing a white gown. Maybe he stays awake all night because the room is dark and bare, the bed is small, and there's no table. First, he's curled up in a ball, then he leans over, and finally he sits up straight. He pushes the bed's railing. After that, he seems to take off his gown and leans off camera, maybe against a wall, like he wants to leave. He walks around the room and notices someone lying on the floor beside his bed. In the video, you can hear a scary scream. It's said that these spooky things happened at the hospital. More patients started reporting the same kind of stuff as it happened more often. Eventually, so many people were scared that the authorities had to close down the place. Maybe it's a good thing they shut it down, because this video really gave me the chills. In August 2016, YouTube user uploaded this video without any trouble. The footage originally came from a student film made at Pasadena City College back in 2008. They filmed some scenes at the Metropolitan State Mental Hospital, and that's when something strange happened. It wasn't until Trevor got home and watched the footage that they noticed it. In the video, you can see the old, abandoned mental hospital with its windows closed on a hot day in July. There are shots of the building from different angles, and the actors joke around. Everyone seems to be having a good time, but what happens next might give them chills. While filming one scene, a ghostly figure, almost like a mist, appears to pass by two of the actors in the hallway. They rushed past, not knowing what had just happened. It probably won't bother them because they didn't even realize what was happening, unless one of them was somehow affected by the ghost. We should talk to the people from the student film and maybe we can figure out this scary mystery. Hospitals are often linked with sad feelings because they're where many people spend their final moments. But what if a lab assistant witnessed something strange? Like a vial seeming to jump off the table and land on the ground all by itself, without anyone touching it. It looked like someone was tapping the table's side. The guy who was with him didn't seem to believe him at first, but then it happened again just before the video ended. Another vial started slowly moving toward the edge of the table. Instead of panicking, the lab assistant calmly put it back in place. One mess is more than enough to deal with. A baby was found with a woman who got caught stealing another baby from a hospital in India. NDTV showed a video of this happening on November 5, 2012. The video description says that stealing newborn babies from hospitals is happening a lot in the country, which is really worrying. In the video, a baby boy who's only a day old gets taken. You can see a woman wearing all white leaving the hospital with the baby. She moves quickly and purposefully, making the baby look stiff. It must have been terrifying for the baby's parents. We don't know if the woman got caught or punished, but it's awful that the baby got taken away from their parents like that. The hospital definitely needs better security to stop this from happening again. What's scarier than a ghost? A ghostly kid in a hospital. Medical workers at Argentina's Cordoba Children's Hospital were left shaken when they reported seeing the ghost of a child 10 times in just a few hours. They even tried to interact with the spirit. Some say they released balloons where the ghost appeared often. One nurse was desperate to get a photo of the child, believing it played hide and seek with them. They captured a ghostly figure emerging from under a sheet-covered bag. Critics doubt the height witnesses claimed the ghost reached, and not everyone agrees with the video's content. Some think they see a spooky shadow beside the cot. The ghost, known as the Ghost of 500, is said to be a patient who died in room 500. The hallway where this happened is now closed and connects to the pediatric wards. Most hospitals have their own stories, but a World War II hospital probably has even more intriguing ones. In a video uploaded by Subian in November 2017, he and his friends explore an abandoned World War II hospital in Milton Keynes. They venture inside with just a small flashlight, making the place seem eerie from the start because it's dark and deserted. One of them claims they've been drawn to the hospital because they always hear things from there. At around 1 o'clock, they stop to listen, thinking they heard something, but they continue exploring. As they walk around, their footsteps sound like they're crunching on glass, but there's nothing there. It's pretty surprising. Thinking about patients from World War II being treated there brings up scary images, even if it's just in my imagination. Imagine seeing a shadowy figure wandering around the hospital at night. Most people would run away as fast as they could, not thinking about grabbing a camera. But one brave person decided to test things out and recorded it. This happened at Hunter Hospital for Students. There are reports that a doctor who worked there committed suicide and now haunts the place, turning the lights on and off in patient rooms. In the video, you can see a spooky, shadowy figure appearing in the dark corridor crowded with stretchers. Do you think this is something paranormal, from outer space, or something different altogether? Whatever it is, it's best to steer clear of that hallway at night. If you found the last video intriguing, you'll be interested in this one too. It shows another body being taken away. A person is lying on a bed when suddenly their figure sits up, but then it seems to just float away and vanish. There's nobody around to try and help the person. The camera captured the last few seconds before the ghost seemed to disappear into the vast void. There's something eerie about exploring abandoned places, and nobody knows this better than Dan Bell, a YouTuber and urban explorer. He often shares his explorations on his channel. One of his videos shows an abandoned hospital with a post-apocalyptic vibe. From the outside, it looks pretty normal, just old and deserted, but once he steps inside, you see the mess left behind. Dan and his exploration buddy carefully make their way in and find a dangerous pile of used needles scattered around. As they go deeper into the hospital, they discover even more unsettling sights: moldy ceilings, abandoned wheelchairs and gurneys, and almost total darkness. It feels like the set of a monster or zombie movie, the kind of place you wouldn't want your main character to enter because nothing good could happen there. They had searched the old hospital thoroughly and checked everything left behind by sunset, except for some pretty creepy footage. Most of the stuff looks like it was used, as if they had to leave suddenly for some reason. It's probably best not to know for sure. I'm ready to leave this place.
I'm ready to get out of here.
In February 2013, John Edmonds had quite an experience while exploring the broken St. Asylum Essex County Hospital. He captured some images that really stuck with him. According to him, While he and his friend were investigating the huge hospital, they heard a loud scream and stumbled upon some terrifying four-legged creatures. In the video, you can see John and his friend exploring the area. They check out an old broken TV in one of the abandoned hospital rooms and wonder why there are so many bricks on the floor. Suddenly, John's expression changes, and he points to the right. His friend throws something, maybe a piece of bread or a rock. John manages to capture some footage of the four-legged creatures. At the end of the hallway, where there's some light, you can see the outline of one of the creatures pausing. Then, it starts running towards them, and that's when John believes they ran for their lives. If I saw something like that, I'd do the same and never look back. It seems like these creatures are interested in people, but some skeptics aren't convinced. One skeptic thinks the video might be from a building in Verona, and that the object might be something else, like a friend crawling out of a doorway. Carrie might be right, but to me, the object doesn't look human. This video is quite disturbing to watch, and if you're not paying attention, you might miss something important. It's clear that the man on the stretcher is fighting for his life, lying still while surrounded by medical staff. But what the video captures is unbelievable. It really seems like his spirit leaves his body after a short while. The moment his heart rate flatlines, his body sits up as if from another world. The medical team rushes back in, trying to revive him with chest compressions. This goes on for some time. In those final moments, it feels like they captured something from another reality. All of this was recorded in a low-quality hospital video.